Hello, everybody. It's Audacious Monday or Tuesday if you're across the world. And my name is Jennifer Cramer Lewis. And one of the things that I've noticed about me is that I'm always willing to ask for way more than my fair share of everything. I'm always willing to ask for an upgrade. I'm willing to be cheeky and flirt my way out of a speeding ticket. And what else is possible for you? And one of the reasons why I created the Audacious Ask is I noticed that people were doing all of this at least thinking, like, at least I have enough money to pay my rent. At least I have a place to live. At least. And what happens when we start to think at least is we start to create for at least. And what I would love to invite you to is asking, is this an audacious choice for me? And so we go live every Monday or Tuesday wherever you are in the world. And we've really started to create some miracles. We have people whose businesses have been dormant for years who are taking off and jetting around the world. People who had chronic pain in their body, who can't even remember that they had chronic pain in their body. People who were feeling just not very good. Really starting to make audacious choices and step out of this at least thinking. And so I'm going to ask you, what is your audacious ask? And we use the tools of something called Access Consciousness, as well as some other modalities that I've been trained in. And how does it get any better? So I wonder what people will do and what they will ask today on Audacious. Oh, we got Cassie. Cassie, what's your audacious ask?
One of the things that I've been really aware of is how I modulate myself to other people's realities. Not just yours. Like if I do that with you or a lot of people, it's really fun. I was out on the weekend and it's the first time I've run into somebody really, no matter what you said, this person had a way of just like, and I realized after I left, like I had embodied it, as I was resisting it. And my audacious ask is to sprinkle my reality, the magic, as opposed to modulating it into a lower frequency.
How cool is that? Okay, cool. So I have a story for you. So I have a friend who lives in the UK. Her name's Claudia Burnett. And so I love asking people, like no holds barred, if you could create an invention, what would your invention be? And she said she would love to create a ray gun that she could point at anybody and just like infuse their whole life with so much joy that they would just bust a gut laughing. Yeah. And so she was playing with the energies of being the ray gun that would cause people to have so much joy that they would just bust a gut laughing. Yeah. And so like the energies of what you were asking for, like the sprinkling, like what would it be like if you could just like Star Trek? What if you could just give them a bolt of lightning that would, blow all the limitation right out of their world and, and infuse their whole entire body with joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that doesn't allow you to turn that sucker up and stop sprinkling and start spraying or lightning bolting people, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, good and bad, right and wrong, PUD and POC, all nine, boy shirts and beyonds. And definitely don't use the ray gun on the Airbnb people upstairs. Oh my goodness, Cassie has an Airbnb upstairs where people just like rent to party, and which isn't super fun. So that could be one of the annoying things that you are allowing to continue in your universe.
Well, and actually, it turns out there wasn't 4 of them, there was about 12 of them, and there were excited, they're whale researchers, which is really fun. And so, yeah, and they had no idea there's no insulation in here. So we had a conversation. I'm like, okay, what can I do to change this? Oh, I could talk to them.
Could talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could talk to them. Cool.
Which I did, and done.
Nice. So I had actually a similar experience this weekend of somebody who was definitely set on repel. They were not going to receive any information from me on how they could change their life. They were 1,000% sure that nothing was going to change in their life. And yet they knew that they needed to change something in their life. And so, you know, so many of us are coaches and facilitators or doing transformational work. And so it was funny, my Russian team as well, I was talking to one of the girls there, and I said to her, when you meet people and you think, oh, they'd be totally interested in what it is that I'm promoting or doing, one, conclusion. So a question you can ask is this person more than 50% interested in what I would love to tell them about, or less than 50% interested? And so if they're more than 50% interested, the next question that you can ask is this a nice time to introduce this to them? And, you know, a lot of times it isn't a nice time. You know, it's not a good time. They're not receiving. And so if it's not a good time, you can ask the universe or your awareness to give you something that they actually can receive.
Mm-hmm.
And then also it's popping for me to remind you that, you know, empathy and sympathy are not something that expands the world. And so if somebody wants to tell you all about their horrible problems, it's actually a kindness to you and to them to never believe the stuff that comes out of their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes to make a choice of, am I actually required to sit here and listen or participate, or is it time to just walk away?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, Paul, and that's interesting too, because we had the person was staying here with us at the B&B. And so she really wanted to insert herself into conversations like Corey and I were having business discussions out in the living room. And so she was staying with us, and she wasn't not welcome. It was just obvious that it was a discussion about our businesses. And so I could feel her wanting to be included. And also it was a kindness to me to not stop what I was doing and include somebody who, you know, and throw them in the deep end with us.
Totally. And often those people can be very attracted because our energy is so different, and at the same time not necessarily have the capacity to, or the desire to change anything at all.
Yeah, no. It was interesting. Both Corey and I gave her some little nuggets, all of which slid off.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've been that person. I have so been that person in the past where, you know, people were trying to give me nuggets, but they were just sliding off. And cool. So I wonder what it would be like for you, Cassie, to have an exit plan if you accidentally get stuck with people who you're like, wow, they're not receiving from me. I'm not receiving anything really fun from this conversation either. Would you be willing to lie to get away from people like that?
Totally. Which is what I did in the end. I just won't wait so long.
No kidding. Right? Yeah. So, and not in the state of like, lying, manipulating people not for their own good. It's just, you have the chance to have a beautiful day. Every day when you wake up in the morning, you have a chance to have a beautiful day. And so if you're spending it with people who don't contribute to you, who don't add to your body, add to your life, add to your financial flows, add to, the orgasmic pleasure of your living, show you fun and interesting things, want to laugh with you, want to spend time with you, want to hold your hand, and really add to your life, then it's a pretty long day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd rather have those days where it's like, oh my God, is it 10:30 already? I've been having so much fun since I opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that doesn't allow you to be, know, perceive, and receive the energy of who will contribute to you and who won't contribute to you, and the words that will always exit you out of the conversations that you accidentally get into, and quite possibly the awareness. Like, I was very aware that this person was I could feel her energy coming. She was scattered. She didn't actually book the B&B room until she was inside my house. Twice, like she wanted to stay again, and yet she didn't book the B&B room until she came into my office at 10 p.m. while I was trying to get some stuff done for a Facebook Live that I was going to do. And I felt her coming. So, the energies are there for us to be aware of. And so, as your little feet are turning towards somebody, you can ask yourself, well, wow, does this actually add to my beautiful Earth Mama energies today? Can I have a beautiful, inspiring conversation with this person for me and for them? And if it's a hard no, then maybe cross the street. And if you noticed people crossing the street, this is not happening to Cassie, by the way, but it may be happening to you. And it's definitely probably happened to me in my lifetime. People crossing the street to get away from you. What are the energies that you're being? And are they the energies that add to the life that you say is a priority for you? And there's lots of different modalities out there. Access consciousness is one of the ones that's really worked for me. I'm a certified facilitator for access consciousness, and so is Cassie. And I think a couple of other people on this call as well. And, I'm not saying that that's the best thing. What I am saying is, if you're finding out that there's things, consistently coming up for you that are not working for you, maybe do some energy testing on some modalities, start to find out what is going to work for you, and study that practice until your resonance is filled with beauty. I call it beauty. But whatever works for you. Some people love this sort of a cooling, almost like a coconut water feeling in their lives, just like a beautiful breeze. And if your life isn't like that, and that's how you say you'd like your life to be, one of the things that I recommended to this person was, find a modality and follow it out to the end. Instead of peppering yourself around saying, oh, well, I'm going to put a toe in this modality and a toe in that modality. Our spirit is such a giant thing. And if we don't take care of it, then it's almost like an Arabian, right? If we don't take care of our spirit, it can run away on us. It can, kick down the barn. It can really create something in your life that doesn't work for you. And so, it used to be everybody went to church. You'd go to the Lutheran church if your parents went to the Lutheran church. And if you were lucky, there would be a priest or a pastor at the church that really was in their calling. But, some people still go to church, and our family doesn't anymore. And so I'm really careful and cognizant about looking after my spirit. And so maybe ask yourself, if you're listening to this, what 5 things could I do in the next week to, honor my spirit and have a look at my spirit and really be grateful, for the wild Arabian that's me. Are you an Arabian, Cassie? I think you're one of those. Yeah, you're like a Frisian. You have to go look them up, Cassie. You're definitely a Frisian.
I adore Frisians.
They have the beautiful manes. Yeah, that's so you. Awesome. Did you get what you came for, Cassie?
I did. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. And this is the Audacious Ask. And you are so invited to create something more audacious for you. One of the things that I've noticed is people are getting very confused about the next things that they need to do in their life or be or have in their life. And so I've created a resource called the Task List to Ask List. And I'm going to invite you to hop on over to podcastgoodies.jennifercramerlewis.com to download that task list to ask list at Jennifer Cramer, or podcast goodies, that's easy for me to say, jennifercramerlewis.com. And I'm going to unmute everybody to come and say hello. Yay! Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.